大家好，这里是温哥华青少年钢琴家俱乐部 VRPC 第12期的谈琴访友栏目。今天将采访我们俱乐部里获得加拿大全国比赛冠军的3位小钢琴家。加拿大全国音乐比赛简称 Cmc， 是加拿大唯一的全国性的高水平音乐比赛，至今已成功举办63届。比赛包括声乐、管乐、弦乐、室内乐、钢琴等9大类比赛。年龄从7岁到30岁，参赛者代表了加拿大的最高水平。很多加拿大钢琴家小时候都曾经来参加过这个比赛，比如肖邦冠军刘晓宇、肖邦第2名 Richard 和第5名的杨艺可等等。可以说，这个加拿大全国音乐比赛是从业余到半专业到专业的一个必经之路。我们温哥华青少年钢琴家俱乐部有很多会员都曾经参加过这个全国比赛，也有很多获得过前3名的好成绩。今天我们请到了俱乐部的3位曾经获得冠军的小钢琴家 Chloe、Paul、Ray， 欢迎你们。下面把镜头转给他们。第一个问题呢，就是先介绍一下自己，谈谈 Cmc 的经历。首先我们问问年龄最小的 Chloe， 她是我们俱乐部的老会员了，今年12岁。Chloe， 你去年11岁跨年龄参加12岁组，夺得99分，全场第1名，也是我们 BC 省有史以来的最高分，可以说是 Cmc 比赛的天花板，特别祝贺你。下面请你先谈一谈吧。
My name is Chloe. I'm 12 years old, and I'm currently attending 7th grade at OLPH. I went to CMC 3 times, once when I was 7, 8, and last year when I was 11. It was a really great experience, and every time I went, I really enjoyed it.
Paul 是我们俱乐部的组织部长，今年15岁。他曾多次赢得国内外的大奖，获奖经历也是令人眼花缭乱。比如 GUCAA 国际钢琴比赛青年艺术家奖、西雅图协奏曲比赛和库库伦 Young Orchestra 协奏曲比赛第1名，美国 Northwest 肖邦 Competition 金奖。Cmc 比赛第1名等等。请Paul介绍一下自己，谈谈参加 Cmc 的经历。
大家好，我名字是 Paul， 我今年15岁，然后我是在 Hansford Secondary School 上学。我是2017年赢了第1名的 Cmc， 然后我是参加了，现在是算至少4次了，然后今年我也再参加1遍。
瑞章今年16岁，他是我们俱乐部的现任主席，曾多次获得国内国际比赛大奖、加拿大全国音乐 Cmc 比赛1等奖、多个 Kiwanis 音乐节钢琴比赛金牌。2018年艾特林根国际钢琴比赛特别青少年才华奖等等。下面请瑞介绍一下自己，谈谈参加 Cmc 的经历。
Everyone, my name is Ray Zhang. I'm 16 years old and I currently attend grade 11 at West Point Grade Academy. I attended Cmc a total of 4 times, once in 2014, in 2015, in 2016, and last year in 2022.
你们都曾经获得 Cmc 的第1名，请问能够在 Cmc 比赛中夺冠的秘诀是什么？
I don't think that there's many secrets, but you have to be prepared and have daily practice. So I feel like even though you're preparing like months for your concerto, maybe in the finals, you still can't neglect your other pieces. You still have to practice your scales and your etudes and your tourneys to apply all those elements that you learned in there to your concerto to enhance it.
我觉得最重要一点的是要看谁是 adjudicator， 因为在 CMC 跟别的比赛特殊，adjudicator 都有5个 adjudicator 都不是，有1-2个是弹钢琴的，大部分都不是弹钢琴，所以呢，我觉得是更 important to target different aspects of musicality according to each adjudicator's profession. So let's say a singer, maybe you have to focus, let's say this year there's 2 singers, 2 vocalists. That means you have to focus more onto your melody, and maybe your melody is more important than your technicality. But even with that said, both the technicality and the musicality are both important. But the secret is to prioritize well.
To be honest, I don't think there really is a secret to how you can win first prize. It all ultimately comes down to how well each adjudicator likes your interpretation of your piece. You still have to work hard, practice hard, and get every little thing right in your piece. go on the stage and do your best.
你们也有发挥不理想或不满意的地方吗？请谈一谈原因和经验吧。
Well, to be honest, as soon as I started, I hit a wrong note, which really made me panic because I thought if I hit one wrong note, then I'll just mess with the rest of my piece. So I was a little scared when that happened, but I managed to calm down and get through the rest of my piece well.
So 1 year before my performance, I drank some coffee just to wake myself up before I went on stage, but it had a negative effect because coffee makes you excited, and being nervous before performing and then also being excited is a very bad mix. And so when I was performing, I was going too fast, and that's what led to a little bit of a struggle.
So I think my bad experience is a bit more broad. So in 2022, when I participated in CMC, first off, I wasn't prepared well. I didn't practice much, and I didn't work as hard as I should have. So that led to me being kind of stressed and for my upcoming performance. Also, another big factor was I think I picked the wrong piece. I chose a Brahms Concerto No. 1, which usually is played by adults, so it was a bit too mature for my age. So I think one thing is to really choose the right piece for you, because that can really be a positive or negative factor in your performance.
你们觉得 CMC 和其他的比赛有什么不同之处？应怎样做好准备？
A few unique things about CMC is that not only is the final only in concerto format, but you also get to travel a lot, usually to Ontario and Quebec. So always make sure to schedule ahead, including stuff like taking absences from school and with flights and with hotels.
Well, there are quite a few differences that make CMC stand out from other competitions, starting with the variety of judges that you meet at the competition. They have a variety of professions in music, such as strings and vocal and piano. So when you're playing, practicing, you have to consider all of the judges who will be listening to your music. So when you're practicing, maybe think about how you would like to make the melody stand out for the vocalist, how you would show the voices for the strings, and how you would have good technique for the piano.
One key difference between CMC and specifically local competitions is that CMC is split into 2 rounds. It used to be split into 3 rounds, but now it's split into 2. The first round being for solos, and the second round being for exclusively concerto. This is interesting and different between compared to different other local competitions, because it tests both your solo capability and your concerto, which is supposed to be your most practiced and most skilled piece.
您能谈一下怎么能克服参加这种大型比赛的紧张情绪？
There's no real way to remove nervousness in a competition like CMC, but there are some ways to slightly reduce it. For example, you can see where on the program you're performing on. So let's say if you're performing in the morning at 8 a.m., the first person performing, you'll have to get a good night's sleep beforehand. And then also, it's better, from personal experience, it's better to be a little bit thirsty while playing instead of being hydrated, because then you will think more about your music instead of about, oh, maybe I'll have to go to the washroom while. It's also important to focus on what you're eating. So it's also important to, let's say, from personal experience as well, don't eat spicy food the day before, and especially not right before before you perform.
When you're facing pressure, it actually motivates you and drives you to practice more. So let's say a month before the competition, you're going to start feeling a little nervous, and that will motivate you to practice more and practice better, since you know that the competition's coming up and it's facing you soon. And during the competition, if you're very well prepared, then it will reduce the amount of stress and nervousness that you have, so your performance can be better.
So obviously it's natural for everyone to be nervous at the piano competition or performance. And the best thing you can do is try to relax for 15 to 30 minutes before your performance. So for example, what I do is that I meditate for 15 minutes in a dark room every time before I play. And this helps me actually calm down a lot before my performance. And remember, when you're playing, just play with your heart and enjoy the music you're playing, and don't worry about every little mistake you
对于
make.
第一次参加决赛的小朋友，在协奏曲的练习上，你们有没有好的建议？怎么样才能和协奏曲的第二钢琴伴奏合作好？
I think the most important
factor performing well with your second pianist is preparation. So it's important to first sometimes like start with rehearsals, let's say 2 months prior to performing. So that way your accompanist will have a great understanding of how you play your piece and the styles and the time. And like, for example, let's say you take time in this one place, and so then the accompanist will know to take time with you in that one place in order to help with your play. And also, it's important because it also familiarizes the student with the accompanist, which is the problem with preparing too late, is because the student can't be familiar with the accompanist. So that's why it's important to prepare beforehand for a long time.
When playing with the second pianist, you really have to be aware of cueing them, because if you guys, in many concertos I know, you have to play like a big chord together, and if it doesn't go together, then it sounds really messy, especially if you're playing with an entire orchestra. So something really important is to cue them, give them a nod or a breath, like a second before you're about to play, so they can be prepared and you guys can play together in harmony. Also, going over the music together is a really good way to familiarize with the piece with your accompanist by looking at all the dynamics and where you slow down, where you speed up, and that will really help you familiarize with the second pianist and with your piece.
So, as Paul said, you should really familiarize yourself with your accompanist a few months beforehand through a lot of rehearsals. However, I do have a tip that I can give you that can help you a little, is that to always play a little later than you expect. So, for example, when you're ending the exposition with a run or a trill, you can finish like a little bit after the orchestra to make sure you sound together.
参加 CMC 之后，有的琴童更加热爱钢琴，有的反而放弃了。你们有什么亲身的感受想说吗？
So after I did CMC in 2014, 2015, and 2016, I was actually really motivated to go play in my own performances and go to other competitions after. However, during quarantine in 2020 and 2021, I kind of stopped playing piano for a bit. I kind of quit a little bit. But what helped me get back on track is to be determined to play in CMC of 2022. And I started like playing a bit more and working hard just so I can play in the finals of CMC 2022 again.
After CMC, I feel like after any performance or any big competition, a child will need a break. Maybe just for 1 or 2 days, just relaxing, just a little bit of piano and a lot of like fun. That would really help a child relax, and then they could get back on track. Personally, I went to Europe for an entire month after CMC. And when I came back, I felt like I was like really behind and not as good as it was before. So it motivated me to work even more. And what really made me proud of myself was the score I got, which made me feel really happy, which then drove me even more to practice.
I think it's important to establish that winning or losing CMC isn't the most important. I understand that some people might feel the need to want to quit piano because let's say they got 4th place. But it's important to understand that you've already made it to nationals. So you're already a pretty big deal. You're better than most people already. So why not continue playing? It's important to understand the concept of not giving up, and that CMC is really, if you zoom out, it's really just a small speck in the grand scheme of things.
最后一个问题，你们将来还会参加 CMC 吗？或者有什么其他的打算？
Although I would love to participate in CMC again, unfortunately this year and next year I'm gonna spend all my time working on my university application, so I don't think I will have a lot of time to prepare or participate in CMC.
Although I would love to go to CMC again, right now I'm focusing on expanding my repertoire so I could enter more competitions in the future. So I don't think that I will enter CMC for like this period of time, but I hope I can in the future.
In regards to CMC, I'm participating this year, and I'm planning on participating for every year until I graduate. At least that's the plan for now. So, I plan on seeing you in a future CMC.
感谢 Paul、Chloe、Ray 参加我们这期节目的录制，给大家分享了那么多宝贵的经验，这是俱乐部给你们的小礼物。
谢谢。
请最后给大家再说2句吧。
Okay, thank you all for listening.
We hope to see you in the future sometime.
Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you guys have a successful piano journey.
And thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, that like button, and turn on post notifications for VYPC. See you all in the next CMC.
Bye bye.